The first time I ever saw, heard of, or tasted this thing was 8 years ago when my mother in law sent the flour all the way from Kaduna, and I kept wondering what is so special about this thing. But that was just before I tried it. This is finger millet, known as ragi in Hindi and tamba in Hausa. I usually get mine at the local market around me from the traders that sell grains like guinea corn and pearl millets and the rest. Finger millet, like other grains, can be used to make many things like swallow, but my favorite way to enjoy this is as a porridge, a breakfast cereal known as Kunu'n Tamba in Hausa. So let's make that. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. That was a long introduction. I hope that we're all doing well. Alright, so the first thing I like to do when I get grains like this is to wash or rinse thoroughly, because you can see for yourself how dirty this looks. So I like to just put some water to cover it, rub my fingers through the grains thoroughly just to release any dirt. And I did this for about 4 times before the water was clear enough. This is going to ensure that your grains are safe for consumption and so that you enjoy the thing overall, because you don't want to be eating it and chewing sand or biting into different types of dirt. One of the biggest worries I've noticed that new mothers tend to have is how to start their babies on supplementary feeding. After the 6 month mark, when breast milk is not sufficient and you have to give semi-solids, introduce semi-solids. And I found that is why Tom Brown recipes are so popular. That is one of my best performing videos. But I didn't start my babies off on supplementary feeding with Tom Brown. And the reason is because many pediatricians advised against it. Because Tom Brown, as you know, has a variety of grains. And so they say that if the baby starts to react or is allergic to one, it might be difficult to isolate and tell which one. So it was better to stick to one grain. And that is where Finger Millet Cereal comes in. It is an ideal food for babies, and it's also considered as a first food for them because it is rich in protein, fiber, calcium. It is a powerhouse of nutrients. Like I said before, you have to be very thorough in cleaning the grains because they are typically small. They are very tiny grains, tinier than the typical millet we know, pearl millet. So it tends to have a lot of sand and little stones. And so by the time you're done decanting all the dirty water, you want to gently scoop the grains out of the basin so that at the end of the day you just have the sand or whatever left under. Not whatever, you have the sand left under. You're going to see just how much sand that there is in this basin. And now that we're done washing this, let's proceed to the next step in making the porridge. Most of the water has drained out now, so I'm just going to spread this on a clean surface outside under the sun and allow to dry. And because of the nature of the grains and just because the weather is generally dry these days, this only took about 5 hours. The few other ingredients that complete this are dry ginger, cloves, and dry pepper. So I just cleaned this really quickly and put outside to dry also, along with the finger millet. You want to be careful not to use too much of the spices, especially if a baby is going to be taking it, so it's not too spicy for them. The tamba is now dry and so are the spices. So I'll just add the spices to the bucket and take to meal. Remember that we're using dry ginger. There's no fresh ingredients here. So this process completely crushes the grains, and that is how the flour that you can now see is formed. I don't like to sieve it because I feel like that's taken out of the fiber content. I don't see the need, but I guess you could do that if you want. So let's make the porridge proper. I'm just adding some water to make a paste, just like you would any other type of porridge, but be careful not to add too much water so it's not too runny, and you don't need it to be too thick either. And I should also mention that this tends to rise considerably too. So now that the paste is smooth enough, I'm just going to go over to the pot of water that is already boiling by this time on fire I'll take some water out because it is better to have it too thick and then add more water than have it too runny, right? And let me mention that you can absolutely do this by pouring the hot water over the paste, like how you would typically make pap. But I don't trust my pap making skills, so better safe than sorry. I just pour it gradually into the pot, and by this time I've lowered it because you saw how quickly this turned thick. So I lowered the heat and I'm just stirring to make it smooth and really come together properly. But you can already see how good this looks, right? I'm sure you can. And that's how you make finger millet porridge, ragi porridge, Kunu'n Tamba. It's as easy as ABC. You don't have to soak, you don't have to sieve, you don't have to roast, toast the grains. And you just serve with a sweetener of choice. And to take this to another level, I insist that you add some milk. Evaporated milk, condensed milk, powdered milk, age appropriate milk for your baby. Just add some milk. This is more delicious than any homemade cereal you have ever tasted, if I do say so myself. But hey, don't take my word for it. I want you to try this out. I get a mudu of this for about 1,500 naira, and you can do this within 1 day. And let me know. I want to hear your feedback in the comment section. Or if you're already familiar with Kunu'n Tamba or Ragi porridge, let me know. Is this a favorite? What do you like about it? Does the rough texture bother you? Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment. You know I love to hear from you guys. Feel free to share this video with anyone you think it might be helpful to. And for more of this goodness, subscribe to my channel and I'll be seeing you in another video. Take care guys. Bye.